Good afternoon. Stephen and I are out here at the park. We're at Prospect Park in Redlands. And this is our first run with our Sunday yoga in the park that we're going to run all of the month of January, February, and March. We will play April and May by ear because by then it might be too warm. We'll see. If April is warm, but still chilly up the hill, we'll continue to do it down here in April. And then starting in May, hopefully it'll be warm enough to start holding outdoor yoga back at the treasure box in the mountains. So at any rate, we want you to enjoy this free class today. And I don't think you can hear Stephen's music, but it will be on the edited recording later. And join us at the mat. Did you want to sit on my blanket or box? Okay. Okay, we're going to start off in Sukhasana. Sukhasana is easy seated pose. And the way that we take Sukhasana is we sit up nice and tall. Legs are kind of loosely crossed in front, so it's not really crisscross applesauce, but it is one foot in front of the other, one close to the body, one immediately in front of that one. Knees out to the side, lift up our heart center, bring our shoulders up to the ears and wrap them back down on the back, drawing your elbows close to your ribs. This allows you to sit as tall as possible, drawing the crown of your head to the ceiling, to the sky rather. And let's go ahead and let the sun kiss our face. It is so beautiful, warm, and gorgeous winter sun right down here in Redlands. Take an inhale and fully exhale. Inhale, shine your heart. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, let's raise our hands up. And exhale, bring them out and down. Inhale, bring our hands out and up. Exhale, out and down. And let's inhale one more time. And exhale, let's take a twist. Bring our right hand behind us, left hand in front, and maybe even place our left hand on our leg as we twist, looking over our right shoulders. Take a nice inhale. And exhale, draw the shoulders back as you bring your left shoulder forward. Inhale. Exhale, draw your right shoulder back, left shoulder forward. One more inhale. And then exhale, lift up those arms, bring them up overhead on your inhale. Exhale, bring the left hand behind your right hand in front, and maybe put your right hand on your left thigh. Inhale, draw the crown of your head up. Exhale, draw your left shoulder back as you bring your right shoulder more to the left. Inhale. Exhale, bring the left shoulder back. One more inhale. And then exhale, bring your hands up and overhead on the inhale. And exhale, bring your hands down. If I screw up the inhales and exhales, don't worry, you'll catch up. So I'm going to move my bolster out of the way. I'm not going to need it for our next segment of our routine. We're going to start off at the top of the mat and start with some sun salutations. So we try to start off almost every class with some sun salutations. Look, the way the camera is tilted, we are looking a little funny. I'm going to rise that up a little bit. Slight camera adjustment. There we go. And I still want Stephen firmly in it. And a little bit of mud on the ground here. Okay, that's a perfect camera angle. So starting at the top of your mat, let's get into a nice strong Tadasana. Lift up the heart center, allow the shoulders to float down. Turn your hands forward, drawing in your belly button. And just feel the strength of the earth as it generates energy upward and grounding at the same time. Inhale our hands up. Exhale them out and down, drawing length by pulling the crown up to the sky. Inhale your hands up. Exhale your hands out and down. And then inhale your hands up. Exhale, swan dive forward. Choose bent legs to start. Fold your body over your thighs. Drop your crown. Inhale into a flat spine. Exhaling down. Inhale, rise, reverse swan dive all the way up. Exhale, draw your hands down to heart center in prayer. Inhale. Exhale our hands down. Inhale our hands up and exhale, swan dive forward. Hands to the ground, drop your crown. Inhale into a flat spine, exhale down. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, draw hands down to the heart center in prayer. We're going to do that one more time and then we're going to go into our sun salutations. Inhale. Exhale our hands down. Inhale our hands up. Exhale, swan dive forward. Drop your crown. Inhale into a flat spine. Exhale down. Place your hands on the ground and move back into plank pose. Let's hold our plank for 3 or 4 breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, draw the heart center forward. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more inhale. Exhale, drop your knees, lift your hips up high to the sky, draw elbows into the rib cage, chest and chin to the mat, and then drop forward into low cobra. Exhale, tuck your toes, move back through child's pose. And then rise up into your first downward facing dog. Legs deeply bent. I do that all the time, Bentley dip. Anyway, push your hips back and high up in space. Widen your collarbones. And just feel that nice length from your tailbone all the way to your wrist. Take a nice inhale. Fully exhale, pushing up and back. One more inhale. And then exhale, take baby steps. Walk your feet all the way up to the top of the mat. And let's hang in ragdoll for just a moment. So in ragdoll, you can grab your elbows, drawing your heart center down as you float your sits bones up to the sky. You can still have your legs bent. That's totally okay. And you can just move in any way that feels good to your body. Any organic movement that you like, straightening one leg and bending the other, maybe moving back and forth. Maybe you don't feel like clasping your elbows. Maybe you like your hands just kind of floating down to the ground. Maybe you like dropping your crown and taking all the weight out of your neck. It's your practice. Do what you like with it. Take a nice inhale. Fully exhale. And then on your inhale, bend your legs deeply and roll your spine all the way up, allowing your hands to be heavy. Keep your chin to the chest. When you arrive at the top, inhale your shoulders up. Exhale, bring them back down. And then inhale your hands up and overhead. Exhale, swan dive forward. Forward fold in Uttanasana. Inhale into a flat spine. Exhale, hands down. Take your right foot back and drop it for our first lunge. Inhale your hands up with your knee on the ground. Exhale, draw your shoulders down as you move your hips forward, drawing your arm bones back in alignment with your ears. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, circle your hands down. Take your left foot back to join your right in plank. Drop your knees. Keep your hips up high. Drop your chest and your chin and inhale your way into low cobra. Rising up into low cobra on the inhale. Exhale, moving back through child's pose, up to downward facing dog. Take a nice inhale. Fully exhale, pushing your hips back. Inhale. Exhale, take knee to nose and bring your foot all the way through and drop your left knee. Inhale your hands up. Exhale, circle your hands down, tuck your toes, lift your left knee. Left foot to join right into a flat spine on the inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive all the way up. Exhale, draw your hands down to heart center. Inhale. Exhale, our hands down. Inhale up. Exhale, swan dive forward. Hands to the ground, drop your crown. Inhale into a flat spine. Exhale, hands down and take your left foot back again. Drop your knee. Inhale your hands up. Exhale, draw your shoulders down. Move your hips forward. Exhale, circle your hands down. Take right foot back to join left in plank. On the exhale, drop your knees, keep your hips lifted. Elbows into ribs, drop the chin and chest and inchworm. Inhale through to low cobra, drawing the shoulders back as you lift up your heart center. Exhale, moving through child's pose, up into downward facing dog. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, move your hips back, drawing your shoulders away from your ears. Inhale. Exhale, bring left knee to nose as you bring your foot all the way through and drop your right knee. Inhale your hands up. Exhale, moving your hips forward. Take one more inhale. Exhale, circle the hands down, lift up your right knee. Take right foot to join left. Inhale into a flat spine and exhale down. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. So I have to take off my sweater because I've gotten warm already. I thought I would be chilly. It's supposed to be a high of 63, but there's no wind, there's no rain. Gorgeous, gorgeous sun. So now we're going to go into our next sun salutations a little bit faster. Inhale our hands up. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale into a flat spine. Exhale, hands down. Take right foot back and stay in that high lunge. Inhale our hands up into Anjaneyasana. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, circle the hands down, hands around either side of the left foot. Left foot back to join right, stay in high plank. Inhale. Exhale, lower Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale into upward facing dog. Exhale, moving back into downward facing dog, rolling over the toes. And find your way to downward dog. Inhale. Fully exhale, push your hips back. Inhale. Exhale, take your right foot forward in between your hands and then rise up on the inhale. Exhale, sink your hips. Inhale. Exhale, circle your hands down, surrounding your right foot. Take left foot forward to join the right. Inhale into a flat spine and exhale down. Inhale, rise all the way up. And then exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale. Exhale our hands down. Inhale our hands up. Exhale, swan dive forward. Hands to the floor, drop your crown. Inhale into a flat spine. Exhale down and take your left foot back. Rising up into Anjaneyasana on the inhale. Oops, losing my balance. Inhale, rise your hands up as you draw your shoulders down. Exhale, sink the hips. One more inhale. Exhale, circle the hands down. Moving back into plank pose. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, lower Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale into upward facing dog. Exhale, moving back into downward facing dog. Take a nice inhale. Fully exhale. Inhale, bring your left foot forward. And then rise up. Exhale, sink the hips, drawing the shoulders down. Pull the belly button in. Inhale. Exhale, circle the hands down. Bring right foot to join left. Inhale into a flat spine. Exhale down. Inhale, reverse swan dive all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. So now let's go on to sun salutation B, which includes a chair pose. Take a nice inhale. Exhale our hands down. Inhale our hands up. Exhale, sit back like you're sitting in a chair, fingertips pointing towards the floor, heart lifted. Take a nice inhale. Fully exhale. Inhale, rise our hands up, staying in that chair pose, and let's hold it for 3. In chair, make sure you draw your shoulders down your spine, tuck your tailbone, draw your belly button in. Weight is moving to the back of the heels. One more inhale. Exhale, swan dive forward into forward fold. Inhale into a flat spine. Exhale down and take our right foot back as we set up for Anjaneyasana. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, sink down. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, circle our hands down. Move our left foot backwards into downward facing dog. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, push back into your dog further. Widen those collarbones. Lift up the hips up to the sky. Inhale. Exhale, drawing those hips up and back. Take one more inhale. Exhale. Inhale. On the exhale, bring your right foot forward and then rise up into Anjaneyasana. Exhale, sink the hips. Take one more inhale. Exhale, circle your hands down. Left foot forward to join the right foot. Inhale into a flat spine. Exhale down and then sit back again in that chair. Inhale, bring up your arms. Inhale. Exhale, draw the belly button in as you bring your shoulders back and down, moving your hips, your weight into your heels. Inhale. Exhale, sink those hips lower if you can. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, stand up. Exhale, circle our hands down and bring them to heart center. Take a nice inhale. Exhale our hands down. Inhale our hands up. Oops. Uneven surface, lost my balance when I closed my eyes. Exhale, circle down, forward fold. Inhale into a flat spine. Exhale down and let's move back into warrior one. So just take your right foot back in space. Right heel is on the ground. Right toes are pointed forward. Rise up. So you can adjust this however you want. Look for the alignment that your hips are in the same direction as your heart center and as the front of your body. Once you've found that position, then tuck your tailbone slightly. Straighten and strengthen your back leg. Take a nice inhale. And then on your exhale, bend your left leg more deeply, maintaining all of that gorgeous alignment. Inhale, lift up the heart center. Exhale, sink the hips, draw the shoulders down, draw the belly button in. Take one more inhale, and then exhale, open up into warrior two. Reshuffle your feet so you have proper alignment. Bending your left leg deeply to open up our pelvis more. Widen our arms as far as we can get them. Lifting up the heart center, drawing the belly button in. A slight tuck of the tailbone to the floor, to the ground. Nice inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more inhale. And then exhale, going into peaceful warrior, lifting up our left hand to the sky, maybe even increasing the stretch by drawing our left hand alongside our left ear as we curl our body back towards our right leg behind us. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, spiral your heart center up to the sky. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, rise up into warrior two. And then exhale, moving into extended side angle. Left hand either to the ground or your forearm can be on top of your left knee. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, draw your right shoulder down on your back and then bend your left leg more deeply, drawing your right arm overhead alongside your right ear. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, rotate your heart center up to the sky by drawing your right shoulder back. Inhale. Exhale. One more inhale, reach. Exhale, circle your hand down. Rise up into warrior two. Take a nice inhale. And then exhale, circle your hands down. Move your left foot back to join your right in plank. Inhale. Exhale, lower chaturanga dandasana. Inhale into upward facing dog. Exhale, moving back into downward facing dog. Take a moment to get into the breath. Adjust your dog so you can get the maximum benefit of your downward facing dog. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, moving those hips up and back. Maybe your heels are touching the ground now. Inhale. Exhale, create lots of space for your heart to open by spreading your collarbones wide. Inhale. Exhale. One more inhale. And then on your exhale, let's take your right foot forward and set up for warrior one on that side. Dropping your left heel, rise up your hands. So check your alignment. It might be different from one side to the next. So we're always looking for those hips to go in the same direction as our heart center. Exhale. As we sink our hips, draw the belly button in, tilt your tailbone slightly. Inhale your hands up. Exhale, draw your shoulders down your back, shine your heart center up. Inhale. Exhale. One more inhale. And then exhale, let's open up into warrior two. So you may find, depending on what your stance was in warrior one, that you have to do a lot of foot adjusting in two, and that's totally okay. Just make sure that your front heel intersects, if there was a straight line drawn, with the arch of your left foot behind that is now parallel to the mat. Inhale your hands up, make them as wide as you can, lifting up the heart center, drawing the belly button in, drawing your right knee out towards your pinky toe. Inhale. Exhale, bend that right leg more deeply if you can. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Final inhale. Exhale, moving into peaceful warrior. Lifting our right hand high up to the sky as we sink our hips. And maybe curling towards the back of our mats. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, draw your right shoulder back so you can rotate your heart center up. Inhale. Exhale. One more inhale. Exhale. Rise up into warrior two, and then move into extended side angle, dropping your right hand either to the ground or left arm on top of your right leg, or right arm on top of your right leg, sorry. Inhale, reach your hand up high. Exhale, draw your shoulder down your back and then overhead to make it a nice, perfect, long dart-like appearance. Drop your hips by bending your right knee more deeply. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, rotate your heart up to the sky, drawing your left shoulder back. Inhale. Exhale. One more inhale. Exhale, circle our left hand down, rising up into warrior two. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, circle our hands down. Move right foot back to join left. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, lower chaturanga dandasana. Inhale into upward facing dog. Exhale, draw the belly button in, rolling over the toes as we move into downward facing dog. Take a few breaths. Inhale. Exhale, move your hips up and back as you draw your heart center down towards the mat. Inhale. Exhale. Take another inhale. Exhale, drop our knees down. We're going to take child's pose for just a moment. We've been doing a lot of heavy long holds, deep bends. The legs are working. When you're in child's pose, Leave plenty of space for your belly to expand as you breathe in. And then as you breathe out, reach your hands forward, move your hips more back towards your heels. Create as much length and extension as you can in this pose. Take a nice inhale. And then on the exhale, let's take a twist. Thread the needle. Draw our left shoulder underneath our right as we lay down on it. Just a little bit of a back stretch, a little bit of a twist, aids in digestion. One more inhale. Exhale, reach your left hand forward and then thread the needle on the right side, drawing your right shoulder underneath and laying across your right shoulder, keeping your left arm out in front. Take one more inhale. Exhale, bring both hands out in front. And let's move back up into downward facing dog. Make your dog as long and wonderful as you can, pushing your hips up high to the sky as you draw your heart center down, widening your shoulders. Take a nice inhale. Fully exhale. Inhale, rise up your right leg as high as you want. Exhale, bring knee to nose. Inhale, lift up your right leg. Exhale, bring right knee to right elbow. Inhale, lift up your right leg. Exhale, cross the body as you bring your right knee to your left elbow. Inhale, rise up again. Exhale, bring knee to nose. And bring your foot all the way through, rising up into warrior two. Now, straighten out that right leg. Take a nice inhale. And then exhale, fall into your triangle. Right hand can go inside the leg, outside the leg, on top of the ankle, on top of the shin, wherever works for you. Once you arrive, focus on drawing the crown of your head forward to create length in your torso. And then rotate your inner right thigh upward. So you're rotating your thigh inside of your hip joint, so that your knee is facing the sky. Take a nice inhale. Exhale. Pressing your back against that imaginary wall behind you. Inhale. Exhale. One more inhale. And then exhale, bend your right leg as we set up for pyramid. Take your left hand to the ground. Bring your left foot in just slightly and then straighten out your right leg again. Initially start by drawing the crown of your head forward. Draw your right hip back as you bring your left hip forward, or imagine that your two hips are being pushed together, centralizing the strength of this pose right underneath your root. Take an inhale, draw the crown of your head forward. And then exhale, allow yourself to descend over your right leg, looking at your second toe on your right foot. Inhale. Exhale, draw your shoulders on your spine as you forward fold. Inhale. Exhale, release. One more inhale. Exhale, take your hands out in front and up as you rise up in one motion. And then exhale, bring your hands down in a circle into reverse prayer at the base, underneath your collar, not your collarbones, your shoulder blades. Inhale, lift up and out of your hips, curling your back over your hands if that's possible. It's not easy on the surface. Take a nice inhale. Exhale. One more inhale. Exhale our hands down. Inhale our hands up. Exhale, moving forward again. Both hands out in front and then reaching the ground as we exhale. Leave our left hand on the ground, right hand to our hip. Take a nice inhale. And then on your exhale, drawing your right hip back and your left hip forward, twist to your right as we go into revolve triangle. Draw your right shoulder back as you bring your left shoulder underneath. If you want to keep your hand here, that's fine. Or you can rise your hand up to the sky. Continue to work this twist from the core. Take another nice inhale. Exhale. Final inhale. And then exhale, bend your right leg. Take your right hand to the ground and then straighten out your right leg, bringing up your left leg with it. We are setting up for balancing half moon. So just get your balance right now in the pose. Then take your left hand to your left hip. Then open up that hip, drawing your left shoulder back, drawing your hip up to the sky, exposing your heart by rotating it upward. Continue to lift up that left leg. Flex your toes. So your inside of your thigh is what's parallel with the mat. And continue to move your hips forward so that you can open them up by rising up that left hip bone up to the sky and drawing your left shoulder back. When you have reached that full expression, if you want, go ahead and lift up your left arm. That feeling like you're flying. Take a nice inhale. Exhale. One more inhale. Exhale, drop your left hand down to the ground. Straighten out your hips. And let's move into standing splits. Wrap your right arm around your right calf. And then just draw your heart center down to your thigh. Bringing your left leg up as high as it will go. Take a nice inhale. And then exhale, drop back into warrior one. Inhale your hands up. Exhale your hands down. Moving back into plank. Hold that for one moment. Inhale. Exhale, lower chaturanga dandasana. Inhale into upward facing dog. And then exhale, draw your belly button in, rolling over your toes as you move into downward facing dog. Take a moment to get into your downward dog. Take a nice long inhale. And then on your exhale, push your hips back, leaving room for your heart center to draw down to the ground. Inhale. Fully exhale. One more inhale. Complete exhale, let it all out. Inhale, lift up our left leg as high as it will go. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, lift it up as high as it will go. Exhale, left knee to left elbow. Inhale, lift up our left leg. Exhale, cross the body, left knee to right elbow. Inhale, rising all the way up. Exhale, knee to nose, bring it all the way through and rise up on the inhale into warrior two. Take a nice inhale. On your exhale, straighten out your left leg. Inhale, and then exhale, allow your triangle to fall. There we go. Again, rotating your left thigh so that the inside of the thigh is rotating upward, dropping your left hip down a little bit. Exhale, draw your right shoulder onto your back and draw the crown of your head forward, creating as much length in your body as you can while you press against that imaginary wall behind you. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, bend our right leg a little bit as we drop our right hand to the floor and bring our right foot slightly forward, setting up for pyramid. In pyramid, having your hands on either side of your left foot, draw the crown of your head forward as you draw your shoulders back. Push the outsides of your hips together to strengthen your base. Take a nice inhale. Exhale. One more inhale. And then exhale, begin to descend, lowering your torso over your left leg, leading with the heart, looking at your second toe on your left side. Inhale. Exhale down. Inhale. Exhale. One more inhale. Fully exhale. And then inhale with long arms that are rising up with your body. Inhale your hands up and overhead. And then exhale, circle them down and bring them to prayer pose in the back, underneath the shoulder blades. Yeah. Inhale, rise up your heart center. And perhaps drawing your shoulders back and down, curl over your hands. Oh my gosh, this is glorious. Inhale. Exhale, curling back. One more inhale. Exhale. Releasing our hands, rising them up overhead. And then exhale, moving back, hands forward as we fold down into that pyramid pose. Place our right hand on the mat, left hand at our left hip. Take a nice inhale. And then exhale, twist to the left, keeping your hand initially on your hip, drawing your right shoulder back and up. Continue to move your right hip forward as you bring your left hip back. Inhale. Exhale. If you want, you can lift up your left hand. Inhale, continue to draw that left shoulder back. Inhale. Exhale. One more inhale. And then exhale. Bend your left knee. We're setting up for balancing half moon. So lift up your right leg, straighten out your left leg. Initially, placing your left hand just outside of your left foot, place your right hand on your hip. And then start to open up that hip, drawing your shoulder and your hip back at the same time. Continue to do that. Continue to shine your heart center as you draw your right shoulder back. And then when you've achieved that, when you feel you've reached that full expression, then lift up your hand.
Following you, cravings for nacho fries.
Taking a nice inhale. Exhale. One more inhale. Exhale, drop your right hand, moving back into that warrior one again. Inhale our hands up. And then exhale, circle our hands down. Hands on the mat, move back into Chaturanga, Dandasana, lowering down. Inhale into upward facing dog. And then exhale, draw in the belly as we move back into downward facing dog. Push those hips back. Create as much length as you can from your tailbone all the way to your wrists. Maybe now your hamstrings are really open and your hips, and your heels can fully touch the floor. Everybody's different. Know your own body. Take a nice inhale. Exhale. Widen those collarbones. Inhale. And then exhale, drop your knees. Sitting on your knees. Widen your feet and sit between them in hero. Now I'm going to stay upright in hero. Maybe I'll move backwards on my elbows. Stephen likes to lay all the way back, so he'll show you a fully extended version. If you need to move your calf muscles out a little bit to make room for your thighs to sit between, then do that. I'm from the species of big calf muscles, so I have to move mine sometimes. Look at him go, man. That's a man with fabulous open hips. But I'm going to place my hands, my elbows on my blocks, and I'm just going to do it this way. And even this is almost too much for me. My SI joints are very mobile. So I'm going to actually move my, I'm trying to find different ways to do this. Okay, this works. So you can take your blocks and adjust them in any way that works for you. Reclined Hero is a wonderful pose if it's meant for your body. It's clearly meant for Stephen's body. Look at him, man. He's like a lizard. He's like a lizard sunning himself. He's loving it. But you can still have benefits. You can even just eliminate the blocks and just place your hands behind you, fingertips pointing towards your hips, and just move back as far as you want. Use it as a shoulder opener as well. Or lift up your heart center. So when you see people in extended versions of poses, it's all good. You don't have to do what they're doing. You do what you do. You do you. And let's go ahead and lift up. Maybe lift up out of it by pressing on our soles of our feet. So deep knee bends are so good for you. Okay, now we're gonna, instead of going into our series with pigeon out of downward dog, yesterday I did it out of deer pose, which is a great pose. Have you done deer?
On the ground, yeah.
Yeah, it's a wonderful pose. So let's rise up on our knees, take our right thigh back so that it's parallel with the mat, and turn our shin forward so that it can be as parallel as possible with the mat, and then just sit down. And let's do a little bit of hip opening in deer. So on your inhale, lift up your right hip, lifting your sits bone off the mat, lift up your heart center. And then on your exhale, draw that hip down, allow this left knee to come up. But feel that rotation inside of your right hip as you do this. It's a nice opener. Inhale, lift up that hip. And then exhale, purposefully bring that sits bone back down to the mat, pressing your thigh against the inside of your thigh against the mat. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, bring that right hip bone back down. And then inhale, lift up the hip bone again. Place your hands in front of your shin, and then move back into your pigeon. So initially in pigeon, Yeah, I am. It's good for yoga teachers to practice together. We get ideas. Okay, so now what I want you to do in this pigeon is draw your right knee forward as you bring your left knee back, strengthening this pose. Sit up as high as you can, and maybe bring your hands up overhead. So you can be active in pigeon or passive. You always want to have some activity in your stretches, because if we have too much flexibility and not strength to match it, we will create instability of our joints. Take a nice inhale, reach your hands up. Exhale, you can circle your hands down, and then you can move your back leg back as far as you choose. And then you can lay over your left leg. So you can choose any extension as you want in this. So for now, right now, I'm just focusing on drawing my left hip backwards as I bring my right hip forward. And I'm laying my torso across my right leg. So just stay there for a few breaths, allowing the body to naturally open. Feeling your heart rate perhaps come down. We actually ended up unfolding a pretty good power routine. And then if you want, spread out your elbows and draw your forehead down closer to the mat. So laying your torso even more across that leg. If you want to, you can extend your arms out in front. That's an option. I never find that really improves my stretch here. So I prefer to just have my elbows out to the side. I feel like I get the same exact stretch. Because the concentration of pigeon is not your shoulders, it is your hips. Our hips are so key to the health of the rest of our body. So when you have tight hips, you invariably have tight shoulders. You may have lower back pain, you may have neck pain, all coming from the hips being too tight to move. When the piriformis is pressing against the sciatic nerve, you might have nerve pain all down your leg. When the hamstrings are tight where they insert into the piriformis, you might find that mobility is difficult. All of this comes from the disease of sitting. We sit way too much. Americans are far more sedentary than we ought to be. So, by doing yoga, by joining us for these classes, either live or on demand, you are doing something wonderful for yourself. I applaud you. Take a nice inhale. Fully exhale and rise up. Bring your hands back. Lift up your heart center, draw your shoulders down. Now, if you want to take some variations, now is a great time to do it. So I'm going to place my left hand in front and reach back and grab my right ankle. And then turn my hands on top of my right foot and draw my right foot towards my right buttock, stretching out my right quadricep. If I want to, I can also wrap my elbow, but I have to sit down to do it. I can't do it lifted. And so this is the full expression. I think this is called king pigeon. There's royal pigeon and king pigeon. I never know the difference. Lift up the heart center when you're doing this, though, when you do this bind. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, drop your right hand down. Drop your right foot. And then if you want to, you can even be more stretchy and bendy. Place your right hand on the mat and reach back with your left hand and grab your left foot. Drawing it across your hip in the other direction, stretching out your hip the other way. Very lovely. You can release that gently. And then let's move into half Hanumanasana. So to do that, go ahead and lift up your right leg, bring your hips back and bring your right foot forward a little bit, drop your right knee. Okay, and then just move your hips back in space, allowing your left toes to peel off of the mat. You might need to move your heel forward a little bit to get that stretch. Focus on drawing the heart center forward instead of down. Focus on drawing the hips backwards as you bring your heart center forward. Focus on drawing the shoulder blades onto the spine. Our concentration is not drawing the heart center towards the leg. Our concentration is on getting a beautiful long stretch of the back of our left hamstring. Take a nice inhale, and then exhale. One more inhale. Exhale, bring our left knee back, and let's move into deer pose on the left side. So, however you get there is fine. Left thigh parallel with the front of the mat. Right shin as parallel as you can get it with the front of the mat. Okay, and then we're sitting on our right hip. All right, so now what we're gonna do, you seemed a little confused about my instructions before, so just watch my body now that you can see it. Okay. So you're gonna inhale your left hip up, lifting up your sits bone off the mat, and then on your exhale, you're gonna purposefully place that back on the mat. So Stephen, do you feel the way that changes how your hip opens up? It's a nice opener, but when you do that, your right knee will lift up, and that's okay. You have to make room. Inhale, lift up the left hip, moving it forward. Exhale, draw that left hip back down. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, bring it back and down. And then one more inhale, lift up. Exhale, place your hands in front of your right shin and then move back into pigeon by just rotating your left knee down. Ah! So now in pigeon, again, I want this to be an active pigeon. So have your toes tucked, knee on the mat, lifting up, drawing your left knee forward as you bring your right knee back. And then if you can, lift up your hands. This takes a lot more balance and strength than we ever think it's going to. I used to not be able to do this. Take a nice inhale, exhale, lower them down. And now if you want to stretch out that left leg behind you as far as you want, go ahead. Inhale, lift up your heart center, drawing your shoulders down. And then exhale, draw your heart forward as you lay across your leg. Draw your right hip back as you bring your left hip forward. And initially, you be however you want. I like to start up on my elbows and allow my hips to open up in their own way. So it's guaranteed that you will have injuries if you base your poses on what your neighbor is doing. You have to base your poses on what you feel. Yoga is all about getting to know yourself, your physical self, your emotional self, your spiritual self, it's all about turning inward. It's a very personal experience. When something isn't working, it's okay, back out of it. You want to be able to do yoga, I hope, for the rest of your life. So be safe within it. If you want to go down a little bit more now into your pose, if you've allowed your body to gently open, feel free. Doesn't this feel good?
Free sample of our double fudge brownie.
We can hear the birds go in. We're right across from the university here, so I'm going to send this video to my friend who is an alumni of this university. Maybe I can get her to come to our classes, but she lives in Chino Hills. I don't know. Inhale, rise up. And then let's go ahead and move into that half Hanumanasana like we talked about. So first, tuck your toes and lift up your left knee, and then bend your left knee, moving back and placing your right foot in front. So to move into Hanumanasana, all we're going to do is move our hips back and allow our toes to pull off of the mat. But I'm going to move my right foot forward a little bit so that my hips are higher in the air. Okay? So if you want to have a really effective stretch, the best way is really to have your hips up high and your foot further out in front of you. Flexing your toes so that they're moving back towards you. Draw your heart center forward as you bring your shoulders down. I always feel it much more intensely on this side because, frankly, my right side has never been as open as my left side, even as a little girl. So we all have limitations. We all have differences in the body. What we are seeking is to bring them into balance as much as we can. So how do we do that? Well, maybe we push the left side to its edges as the right side backs off, whichever your side is more open. So you decide, but remember all those wonderful alignment principles that I told you about. And this is a good one to use blocks on. You can elevate the heart center by lifting up on blocks. Take a nice inhale, fully exhale. One more inhale, exhale, bring your hip back, bring your right knee in alignment with your left. Let's spread our knees wide, sit back on our heels, and move into child's pose again. Take a nice long inhale. Exhale, rise up. Let's swing our feet forward into staff pose. Lift up your hips, wiggle them out, sit them back down. Make sure that your sits bones are in firm contact with your mat. Lift up your heart center and draw your shoulders down. Place your hands next to your hips. Feel the strength of your core in this pose. If you find it's hard to sit like this, you can always bend your legs. You can place a folded blanket underneath your knees if you need to. It's Some people feel like they need to do that, and that's totally, well, this blanket doesn't really roll up very well. Okay, there we go. So that would be one way that you could do that. You can also elevate your hips if you want by placing that blanket underneath your hips. So there's different ways to do this to get your body ready for the full expression. So sitting up, inhale our hands up and overhead. Exhale, drawing our shoulders back and down, arms back in alignment with our ears, hinge forward as we go into a forward fold, laying our torso across our legs. And then when you've achieved that, drop your hands if you choose. Pull your feet back towards you as you draw your heart center forward. Focus on drawing the shoulders onto the back. Focus on drawing the heart center forward as the way that you move into your forward fold. It's okay to bend your legs if you need to. I want you to feel this on the back of your legs. I do not want you to feel it in your lower spine. If you feel it in the lower spine, just lift up your heart center and draw your shoulders back and down. That should resolve that. If it doesn't, bend your legs a little bit more. Inhale, rise up. And let's say we go into some reclined twists and move our way into Shavasana. Okay, so go ahead and scooch down on your mat a little bit. Work your way into laying down. Keep your knees up to the sky. Oh my gosh, that sun is glorious. It's cold up in the mountains right now and drippy and wet. And now we have the dirty snow stage. So go ahead and adjust your shoulders any way that you need to find comfort on the mat for your upper back and neck. Maybe you want to lift up your hips and wiggle them out so that your sacrum can make firm contact with the mat. Now I want you to lift up your shins, but push your thighs a little bit away from the body and try to have your shins parallel with the mat. You should feel all of your abs firing up. Place your hands out to the side like you're creating a letter T. Take a nice inhale. And then on your exhale, drop your hips to the right, turning your head to the left. If you want to, you can bend your legs a little bit deeply. Place your right hand on top of your right thigh so that you can increase your stretch and your stretch along the outside of your left hip. We have worked. Stephen and I are going for vegan lunch after this, and we've earned it. And then I'm hitting Sprouts, and my brother's coming to visit. So I told my big brother, who's in very good shape at the age of 55, that he should join my yoga classes and I could work him. I bet I could. I bet I could. There's nothing like a good power class to cleanse the body, to make you feel strong. Stephen, I think you're going to feel really good tomorrow. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, place your right hand back out to the side. Using the strength of your abdominal muscles, curl them together as you bring your hips back up to neutral. And then again, push your feet out a little bit so that your hips, or rather your thighs, are arm's length from your shoulders. And the challenge next is to have your shins parallel with the ground. Feel all of your abs firing. Remember to draw your back down to the floor at the same time. Take a nice inhale. And then on your exhale, drop to the left. If you want, place your left hand on top of your right knee. Turning your head to the right, stretching out your right hip. Oh my, isn't this delightful? So when I edit this video, it's going to have some music on it. Stephen's going to send me his tracks. We're going to have some of his music on our edited video. I think it would be fun to have a yoga flash mob where people go, oh, there's people doing yoga. Let's go get our mat. Take a nice inhale. And then exhale, using the strength of your abs. Lift up your knees. One more time, press your knees out so that your thighs are arms distance from your shoulders. Make your shins parallel to the ground. Press your back into the ground. Feel all of your abs firing off. Take a nice inhale. And then exhale, drop your knees to the ground. Maybe lift them up and shake them out, your hips again. And let's take Baddha Konasana, bound angle pose. Place our feet together. Allow our knees to drop down. And just sit here, perhaps with your hand on your belly, your other hand on your chest. Feeling your heart rate to begin to return to normal. Feeling the gentle rising and lowering of the belly as you inhale and exhale. Allow your brain to start to settle in. Scan your body, looking for places where you may be holding tension. Where the breath may not be moving as freely. Tell those parts of the body to release. The visualization that I used yesterday was to imagine that you're laying on top of a really nice memory foam mattress. And that mattress is fully supporting all the parts of your body, and your body is sinking down into it. Allow the earth to fully support your body. Relax all of your limbs, your back, your hips, your head, your shoulders, into the strength of the earth. Perhaps release your hands down now alongside your thighs. If you want, you can extend your legs out in front of you as you take full Shavasana. Allow yourself to find deep relaxation. As we lay here, we can hear the gentle sound of traffic, birds chirping overhead, a plane flying overhead. We can feel a very slight breeze blowing across our skin. We can feel the sun shining on us from the south, warming our faces, warming our arms. You can rest here in Shavasana for as long as you wish. My challenge always is find 5 minutes of stillness a day, at least 5 minutes. Use that time to be mindful of the breath, mindful of the body and the signals that it sends. And use that time to harness the breath, to encourage your body and your mind to fully relax. Let's begin to come back into the present moment. Start to integrate a little movement, wiggle your fingers, maybe wiggle your toes, maybe nod your head slowly back and forth. And when you are ready, lay on your right side, curl up into a little ball. And just rest here for a moment. And then place your hand on the mat and gently rise up using the strength of your arm to support you. Keep your head lower, chin close to the chest as you rotate your body forward so that it's facing the front of your mat. Take your easy seated pose. Place your hands on your knees. Inhale your shoulders up, eyes are still closed. Exhale, bring the shoulders down as you lift up your heart center, lifting up your crown. And then now gently flutter your eyes open. Welcome. It always feels when we drop into Shavasana that we transport away to some other place. And then when we come back and our eyes are open, I think the world even looks like it's a different color, doesn't it? It looks to me always a little bit more like it's got a blue hue on everything. And that's a good thing because blue is a calming color. Blue is a signal that you have dropped into deep relaxation. Inhale our hands out and up. Exhale our hands out and down. Inhale out and up. Exhale out and down. One more inhale, hands out and up. Exhale, hands in prayer to Ajna, your third eye. To Vishuddha, your throat chakra. And to Anahata, the heart. Thank you for viewing our video. It's been wonderful doing yoga here in the park with my friend Stephen. I'm looking forward to next week because I know we will have other students in person that have already committed. We are going to be meeting here at Prospect Park over by the Rose Garden right across the street from the university, which you might be able to see behind us. We will be here at noon, setting up. And we'll start class as soon as we set up, and we will have the Zoom link open for people that cannot join us. The light in me joins the light in you. The yogi in me honors the yogi in you. Namaste.